Good day everyone. Here we are today to discuss about the disability categories. Let's have our objectives. First is to identify what is disability categories, and second is to identify the 13 disability categories. Disability categories are groupings of conditions that affect a person's ability to function.
So, school performance must be adversely affected by a disability falling into one of the 13 categories that we will tackle today. First is specific learning disability. So this may manifest in significant difficulties affecting the ability to listen, speak, read, write, spell, or do mathematics. So here are some examples of SLD. Dyslexia, or difficulty reading, spelling, and decoding words. Dysgraphia, or the difficulty with handwriting. And dyscalculia, difficulty with math concepts. Next is other health impairment. It can also refer to heightened alertness to environmental stimuli. OHI can be caused by chronic or acute health issues. Some example of this behavior is asthma, ADHD, diabetes, and others. Next is autism spectrum disorders. So it is a condition related to brain development that impacts how a person perceives and socializes with others. Some examples of this behavior is repetitive behaviors, social communication difficulties like having trouble understanding others, resistance to change, self-injury, and others.
And let now proceed to emotional disturbance. Emotional disturbance refers to a range of emotional and behavioral challenges that can affect an individual's mental health, relationships, and daily life. It can manifest in different ways, including 1. Mood swings, intense and unpredictable emotion shifts such as irritability, anxiety, or depression. Number 2. Emotional reactivity. Overreacting or underreacting to situations, it can lead to impulsive decisions, especially on its behaviors. Number 3. Difficulty regulating emotions. By this, it is a struggling to manage and modulate emotions leading to feelings of overwhelm or numbness. Number 4. Impaired relationships. By this, difficulty forming and maintaining healthy relationships due to emotional instability or reactivity. And for the last one, self-destructive behaviors. It means that when engaging to someone, it can lead to the self-sabotaging or self-destructive behavior such as substance abuse or self-injury. Emotional disturbance can also be caused by various factors, including number 1, trauma. By this, trauma is all about experiencing traumatic events such as you have been abused, neglect, or loss of loved ones. Number 2, mental health conditions. Living with conditions like depression, anxiety, or personality disorders can lead to emotional disturbance. And for the last one, neurodevelopmental disorders, which it states that conditions like ADHD, autism, or learning disabilities can lead to such a misusing behavior that can lead to emotional disturbance.
A speech impairment, sometimes called a speech impediment or speech disorder, happens when you have trouble singing sounds that people don't understand what you're saying. Some people are born with conditions that affect their speech, but you can develop a speech impairment at any time in your life if you're injured or have a medical condition that affects your voice or your abilities to speak. What causes speech impairment? Healthcare providers don't know all the reasons why children and adults have speech impairment. For example, if you have stuttering, because of speech noises that you use in general, Irritating written sounds or syllables, or hold or throughout certain sounds or syllables to speak. If you have a voice disorder, your voice may sound uneven or slight causes from speech impairments. Visual impairment refers to a decrease in vision that cannot be corrected by standard glasses or contact lenses. It can range from mild to severe and can affect one or both eyes. Visual impairment can be caused by various factors, including genetics, injury, infection, or age-related conditions. Blurred vision, double visions are some of symptoms of this. Comprehensive eye exam, imaging test, or ultrasound can be an example of diagnosis and treatment for this kind of impairment.
So now, let's talk about deafness. Deafness is the complete loss of your hearing. Some people are born deaf, while other people may become deaf. Deafness can be diagnosed by having a hearing test. People who are deaf may choose to use hearing. What are the signs of deafness? If you are deaf, you may: first, misunderstand conversation. Second, not respond when spoken to. Third, not react to loud noises. And fourth, have unclear speech. If you are deaf, you may also hear noises in your ears, just like ringing, hissing, and buzzing. Deafness can be caused by abnormal growth of the tiny bones in the middle ear, damage or malfunction of the cochlear in your inner ear, problems with nerve between the cochlear and the brain, exposure to loud noise, some medicines and medical conditions.
And now let's talk about hearing impairment. Hearing impairment, also known as hearing loss, is a reduction in the ability to perceive sounds. Hearing impairment is when an individual loses the ability to hear in either one or both ears. The level of impairment can vary from mild or difficulty hearing soft sounds, severe inability to hear even loud sounds, or total loss of hearing. Factors contribute to hearing impairment, including the age-related changes, genetic factors, noise exposures, illnesses, and injuries. There are two types of hearing impairment. One is called conductive hearing impairment, which is when the outer or middle ear is damaged. This can be medically treated. The second is sensorineural. This is when there is damage to the inner part of the ear, or auditory nerve causes permanent hearing loss. Untreated hearing loss can significantly impact a child's development, leading to delays in speech, language, social skills, and emotional well-being. In adults, it can be cause social isolation, depression, and difficulty in communication.
Let's proceed to deaf blindness. Deaf blindness is a combination of sight and hearing loss that affects a person's ability to communicate, access information, and get around. It also called sometimes dual sensory loss or multisensory impairment. A deaf-blind person won't usually be totally deaf and totally blind, but both senses will be reduced enough to cause significant difficulties in everyday life. What are the signs of deaf blindness? First, needing to turn up the volume on the television or radio, difficulty following a conversation, not hearing noises such as knock at the door, asking others to speak loudly, slowly, and more clearly, needing to hold books or newspapers very close or sitting to the television, difficulty moving around unfamiliar places. What causes deaf blindness? So there are many potential causes of deaf blindness. Some babies are born deaf blind, but in many cases, the hearing or vision loss occurs later in life. So these are the causes of blindness. First is the age, and second is the cerebral palsy.
Let's proceed to orthopedic impairment. refers to a physical disability or condition that affects the musculoskeletal system, which includes the bones, joints, muscles, and nerves. This type of impairment can cause difficulties with movement, mobility, and daily activities. Here are the results of the orthopedic impairments from various factors, such as congenital conditions, where birth defects such as a clubfoot or spina bifida. Number 2, injuries. It can hear that traumatic injuries like fractures or spinal cord injuries. Number 3, degenerative conditions. Degenerative conditions are like arthritis, osteoporosis, or muscular dystrophy. Number 4, neurological conditions. Conditions like cerebral palsy, Parkinson's disease, or stroke. And the last one, infections. Infections like osteomyelitis or bone infection or septic arthritis or joint infection. Here are the examples of orthopedic impairments include number 1, amputations, loss of a limb or part of a limb, spinal cord injuries, damage to spinal cord leading to paralysis or weakness, muscular dystrophy, a group of genetic disorders that can progressively weaken muscles. Number 4, arthritis, inflammation and degeneration of joints causing pain and stiffness. And for the last one, 5, cerebral palsy, a neurological disorder affecting movement, muscle tone, and coordination. Let's continue to intellectual disability, also known as intellectual development disorder. It is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by significant impairments in cognitive and adaptive functioning. It is typically diagnosed during childhood or adolescence and can persist throughout a person's life. Intellectual disability is defined by the following criteria. Number 1, significant cognitive impairment, difficulty with learning, reasoning, problem solving, and memory. And number 2, adaptive behavior deficits. It is challenged with everyday tasks, in some kind of social interaction, and also independent living skills. The severity of intellectual disability can vary widely, ranging from mild to profound. The levels of severity are typically categorized as mild, moderate, severe, and profound. For the mild, some difficulties with academic and practical skills but able to learn and adapt with support. Number 2, moderate, noticeable difficulties with communication, social interaction, and daily living skills. Number 3, severe significant impairment in cognitive and adaptive functioning requiring substantial support. And number 4, last, the profound, it is a severe cognitive and adaptive impairment requiring full-time care and support.
Traumatic brain injury. Traumatic brain injury, or TBI, is a condition resulting from a sudden blow, jolt, or penetrating injury to the head which disrupts normal brain function. TBI can range from mild to severe, leading to a long-term cognitive, physical, and emotional impairments. It is major cause of disability and death worldwide, affecting individuals of all ages. Causes. TBI can be caused by various incidents, including falls, leading cause, especially among young children and older adults. Motor bicycle accidents, a common cause of severe TBIs. Sports injuries. Contact sports like football, boxing, and soccer increase the risk. Violence and assault. Gunshot wounds, domestic violence, and child abuse, like shaken baby syndrome. Explosions and combat injuries, common in military personnel exposed to blast. Treatment and rehabilitation. Treatment depends on the severity of the injury. Immediate medical care. Emergency treatment includes stabilizing oxygen supply, controlling bleeding, and monitoring brain pressure. Next is medications. Pain relievers, anti-seizure drugs, and medications to reduce brain swelling. Next is surgery. Required for severe cases to remove blood clots, repair skull fractures, or relieve rehabilitation therapies. Physical therapy improves mobility and coordination. Occupational therapy helps with daily living activities. Speech and cognitive therapy enhances communication and cognitive function. Psychological support, counseling for emotional and behavioral issues. And lastly, the multiple disabilities. It is a term for a person with a combination of disabilities. For instances, someone with both sensory disabilities and motor disabilities.